Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of Illogically Speaking. It's your host, the logical lady, Jossie, in the building. And this week we kicked the cock out of the hen house. So we've got all ladies. I got a special group with me today that we let the fellas take over 2 weeks ago, and we saw how that turned out. So we are doing our own thing this week. So hopefully we'll have a good time. I'm going to let these lovely ladies introduce themselves. We're going to start with Francis first. Tell us a little bit about yourself or where you're from and your name and everything. Denise, come on in. Go ahead, Francis. Tell us about yourself. Okay, we'll start with Denise because Francis is frozen. Denise.
Yeah, I had a little issue being frozen too for a minute, so it's not just her.
I see her moving, but I can't hear her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She said she can't hear anyone.
I know.
So I couldn't hear you at first either.
Okay. Well, I'm on. We're good now. So hopefully we'll get her back in.
She'll get back in. Okay. So I'm Denise Lemons, and I am from, I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and moved to Texas. There she is, Francis.
Hi.
Can you hear us? Okay, there you go. We just make an introduction. So, and my family was kind of moved back to Texas because that's where my grandmother is from. Dallas. Well, no, she's from Palestine, Texas. But now everybody is pretty much in Dallas or Houston and Austin. And then I moved here, and I can't seem to get away because I moved back to Texas a couple years ago, and I'm back. So,
that's right.
This ain't home, but it's y'all like sometimes.
It's home for me. Tell us a little bit about yourself, ma'am.
Who, me?
Francis.
Well, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Baton Rouge. I moved to Florida with my father when I was 14. I've been here ever since. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I go back and visit. All my siblings are still there, so I still go back and visit, and I talk to them on a regular. But I'm here in Florida. I like it.
We got Southern girls. Y'all got Southern charm and hospitality. You putting roots on people down there in Louisiana, as they say.
No, I don't.
Never mind. Never mind.
I plead the fifth.
Denise says she pleads the fifth. Fellas, y'all know what that means. So like I said, we kicked the guys out. We just gonna have some girl chat this week. Vic and I spend a lot of time just chit-chatting about, different topics and things that we see. We're in the same social media group together. All of us are. We, as y'all will find, these are some strong personalities here. But he and I have some just good conversations, and I want to get your take on some of them and just pick your brains a little bit and let the fellas know what we're thinking sometimes, because they just like to chit chat without listening all the time. They say we don't listen, but they don't listen at all. So we just gonna jump right into this. A big topic that me and Vic have that actually kind of we started with was the Black men protecting Black women thing. We hear it a lot that Black women don't feel protected by Black men, and I get from Black men that they don't know what we need protection from. So, in a lot of cases, I think we made a post about how old were you when older men started hitting on you? And these girls were saying, 10, 11, 12, 13, and the guys were flabbergasted. They had no idea. So that kind of brought something to our attention, like, they don't know about a lot of things. So how can they protect us from things that they don't know about? But when you hear that Black men don't protect Black women, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Jump in, anyone.
So that I didn't chime into that as much because I don't know if it's that Black men don't protect Black women. I think that a lot of them do protect Black women. Sometimes I think it may not look the way we want it to look. And I'm not saying that it doesn't, it definitely isn't an issue, but I think that I think some of it goes to, and maybe it's regional. I think a lot of things are definitely depending on where you are in the country, how it's perceived. Maybe I think that in certain parts of the country, some men are more vocal about their standing up and, standing up for Black women, or, and I think in some parts of the country, they're just a little bit more lax, because some things are
like
just
the
being
South
used
is more vocal. Like, I mean, that's the first place that I think of, like, or
I
no.
think so. And
okay.
I think so, because it's just the way that I think it's just because it's just more ingrained. And I think, honestly, in this area, in the DMV area, I think that so many women have become so forward and harder. And I honestly think that they've taken on a lot of masculine qualities. And I'm not saying that I think it's part of nature, a little, part of conditioning, because they've kind of had to. I don't think that the men, for instance, there are several times when there are topics that say, why don't you, when a man smiles at you, why don't you smile back? Or, what's wrong with him? Smile. If he tells you to smile. And I don't take offense to that stuff. To me, it's a reminder that whatever it is on my mind, it can't be that bad. I like that. In this area, though, it's sometimes women take it offensively. And so when I remember specifically, and it made me change some things that I do. I remember specifically being on the Metro. I was taking the Blue Line, and this Black man, it was me, and then there was it was another woman, a white lady, that was standing up, and this Black man, he was like, "Do you want my seat?" And I was like, no, don't worry about it. No. So he asked the white woman, and she took it.
Right.
And I said to myself, you know what? He's just being a man, and sometimes we as women don't let them be men. And I've never, ever since then, I mean, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take this seat, because you're doing exactly what what you were supposed to be doing and what you were raised to do. Absolutely. When I say no to something like that, then I'm saying basically, you know what? I don't need you. And I totally disagree. I need a Black man.
Don't we all, Lord. I know that we do.
I'm not a feminist like that. Maybe some people can, but I'm definitely not a feminist like that. So I don't think that Black men don't protect Black women. I just think that in some instances, it's been conditioned. We've conditioned them in some ways that, right?
Need it. Put it away.
I think that we've conditioned them in some ways to act that way. But are there ways that Black men can show that they have a Black woman's back? Yeah, they can stand up and not let us be so forward all the time. If you see a Black man, if you see a Black man, and Black men have this really, really bad. If you see your friend that's not taking care of his responsibilities or at home, or
that's the part where I have a problem.
Yeah, so if you see that if your friend is not taking care of his kids, and you laugh and joke and think that, oh, you know what, haha, yeah, she wants child support, I ain't paying shit, and you think that that's funny, you're not protecting Black women. You're not protecting Black women, and you're not protecting Black kids. You're not protecting anything but destroying your own people. If you know that you got a friend that's beating on a woman, or that you out he ha while he cheating on her, then yeah, you're not protecting Black women.
To me, that's a lot of why when women say they don't think Black men protect them, it's not their inner circle. Because 9 out of 10 is their inner circle that do protect them. It's when they're out and someone's being disrespectful and everybody around, they just laughing. Or if a dude try to holler at you at a store, you're young, and they stand around and watching this grown man trying to talk to this child, and they don't intervene. They don't say nothing like, yo, she too young. You can tell. To me, that's not being protective of the Black woman. Not meaning your inner circle not looking out, but when they see things going on, they don't say nothing, they turn it back. There's no way that it's so many women out here getting beat on, but nobody has a homeboy that beats on that girl. It's so many women.
I was about to say it's funny because when you ask guys,
but nobody knows the rate. Like it's happening. You just don't want to know.
I don't hang around with guys who do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing why I don't hang around dudes who do that. It's too many women to get beat on, getting raped, getting abused, for nobody not to know nothing. They ain't hiding it that good. A lot of times people hide it within their family. That's not protecting Black women because you don't want your family exposed to secrets and things like that. That's not being protective of those little girls. And then the first thing you do is call them fat. It turns into, well, even if a woman is out at the club and she's wearing something club attire, if a dude she don't want to give a dude her number, it's, well, fuck you then, bitch. And then it's laughs and kikis, and that's not being protected, because just because you're dressed a certain way don't mean you should be treated in a disrespectful manner.
No, not disrespectful, but I do say, and this is where we're going to have an issue, I do say you do put yourself in certain positions in certain circumstances at times.
I agree with that, Jocelyn.
I agree with that.
I agree with that. I agree all day.
We
gotta start owning our shit. Women can't. We gotta start owning when we put ourselves in a bad situation. We gotta start owning our shit. We can't demand something or say that that we want something a certain way, and and we do something totally opposite. I'm sorry, but if you walk out the street and you walking around with your, nothing on, people gonna look.
But it's times where you can have on something that's not as provocative as the next, and you still get disrespected. I've been 16, and because I have a big chest, grown men saying things that are inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? And it's not because I had on a low cut shirt. It's not always on the woman. And and sometimes in certain situations, I feel like if you're gonna go certain places, if you're dressed a certain way, you should make sure you're not by yourself. You with a group of people. You should do things to protect you better, so that way you don't get put in compromising situations. But we all know sometimes we hang around people who ain't really for you. Nothing. Right, so shit happens sometimes.
So let me ask you, so how is that supposed to look if Black men, if sometimes with a lot of these little girls, excuse me, you don't know, if you don't know if they 16, 13, 15,
25,
25, you don't know. And you can't say, oh, well, you know what, she looked like she looks like it because her chest is small. Do you know how many little big chests?
But that's where you go. If people start
it's easy to say, oh yeah, I can tell. But this is what the responsibility comes in. This is wait. Huh?
Right. They don't like they should be asking, how old are you?
No, me too.
My girlfriend was getting picked up by a 27-year-old in middle school.
My sister has 2 kids. She has a kid by a boy when she was, he was 27 and she was 15 twice. So I know that, but on the flip side of that, it was allowed.
I was that girl. I was 16 going to a club with an ID. It was allowed. Hanging out at the over 21 club. But
it was allowed by my mother. Didn't care that her 13-year-old at the time was walking around with looking like she was, even she had all this butt and all this stuff, and she let her flaunt that. So I think that that's more of I don't think that that's falls all the way on men. I think that some of that falls on women. I think that as mothers, as parents, it's a lot of women that want to be in denial of, the men that's around them, not being, they around their kids.
Some women willing to sell off their kids for a few dollars. So and
how many of these
agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think, like, even with the R. Kelly situation, it exposed a lot of these mothers who were selling their kids off for some money.
They signed off on her. They signed off for her to be married.
which is crazy. Now, exactly. I didn't try things because I wasn't allowed. I wouldn't even finna try.
I was sneaky and resourceful. Kids are sneaky and resourceful, and I was that. I had some friends whose parents were a little more lenient, so I knew whose house to go over when I wanted to do certain things.
Yep.
I did too, but my friends started getting pregnant young, like in the 10th grade. And I was like, okay, this not, I ain't about that life.
No.
So I'm not going to be with it. And I stayed with my father. I knew I couldn't do certain things.
Oh yeah,
Living with my father, it's a no-go. Like,
no. So here's the thing. So we always see memes and stuff where, you know, we always see topics where it says how much fathers being in their boys' life. Mm-hmm. I honestly feel they do more damage when they're not in their daughters' lives. Absolutely. I totally think that men need to focus. You know, we get on them so much, and then it's like, well, women don't need their dad. Heck yeah. A lot of the decisions that I made concerning men were based on, you know, the men that I grew up with. My stepfather, when I finally met my biological father, oh my God, I just wanted even though he wasn't shit, I wanted an ain't shit ass man just like him. Yeah. And so I went and found some ain't shit ass men literally just like him.
Yeah.
You know, even, you know, and so, you know, you have to have, it's very important for men to be in their daughters' lives.
Absolutely. It's beautiful when you see a man that does dote over his daughter. Like my oldest brother, he says he had a son first, and he said his daughter literally changed his life. Like it's one thing to be a first-time parent and you get a certain feeling. He said, but the feeling of a father having his daughter for the first time, it should be something that just shifts in your soul, that you have to change and be like this perfect man now because you have a daughter. Here's the thing, with a daughter, you're not only responsible for her life, you're responsible for who she chooses as man, which in turn determines how she raises her children, which are your grandchildren, and then starts a new generation of kids. I think we forget that part. Like, you know, like, Dad, we need you to do a little bit more than just come around and buy gifts and stuff. No, you're literally shaping this woman's views of men and what a man should be and then what she should tolerate from a man and things like that. So when he's not around, she's searching for so many things, and she's going to go try to find it in all these different guys where it's definitely not going to be. It's usually not in any of the ones where she's searching for. So that's another thing that, I mean, they do definitely, boys definitely need fathers, but girls definitely need a dad. Like, but we need better relationships with our moms. You saw the post about like moms cursing out their daughters. Like, you didn't grow up like loving up under your mom. Your mom was like, yeah, this little feisty teenage little bitch smelling her stuff now. Like, she thinks she's growing and things like that. You know, we didn't have those conversations with the bad commercials. Mom, do you douche? Like, we didn't have those sweet, like, loving mommy daughter moments and stuff.
See, I didn't grow up
get your ass in there.
So I don't have any. My mama passed when I was 1. So to hear, I'm a mom now, so I try to make sure I have a close relationship with my daughter. She can talk to me about anything. So to hear how many dysfunctional mother-daughter relationships
there are
out there blows my mind.
Let me tell you, there are a lot of parents that are jealous of their own kids.
I've seen it. It's crazy.
The relationships with the other parents.
My grandmother used to tell me that all the time about my mom. It took me years to actually and I still don't want to believe it, but I mean, her actions show so much different. But there are a lot of parents that are really jealous of their kids, and some of them are jealous of their daughters. You know,
absolutely,
definitely jealous of their daughters. So.
I think it may be because this generation of women don't tolerate as much as they grew up having to take.
So that's a good segue. My next topic was submission, and we kind of got into it with the guys about just thinking that Black women don't submit. do you feel that you should submit to a man just because he's your man or he is a man? Does he automatically get that privilege just because he's a penis? No. What does he have to show, or what? At what point do you say, or what is submission to you? I guess we should start there.
To me, it's when I can trust your judgment. I know you're not going to lead me to a dead end road or dark alley. You know, if you're making a decision for us, or
knowing that you're making a decision and it is for us, not just
it's for us, and it's not just you're gaining something and I gotta sacrifice all the time. It has to be for us, where we're both gaining something, we're both getting something out of it. But you're not going to just lead me to a dead end road where I just have to be content doing nothing, having a whole bunch of kids, not making no money, living off the system. Because some women submit to men that are okay with that, and they get caught up in the system game. And they be like, oh, well, you're not married, but that doesn't mean just because you're married, you can't submit. You know, it's women who are married and don't submit, and that's part of their problem in their marriage, that they won't submit. But I think to the right man that's willing to lead us and guide us and not just looking out for self, look out for everybody equally, then I can submit to that.
What's your definition, Denise? Or when you think submission, what do you
hear? Well, submission is not cooking and cleaning.
No,
that's not what submission is. Submission
not.
Is definitely not you tell me what to do and I do it. That's not what submission is either. Submission is, to me, I like the lungs of what Francis said. It's a trusting. It's Absolutely. A trusting that you're going to do what's best for us, and as a couple, as in a relationship, that I can trust that, you know, even if your decision fails, that you're still in a position that I can trust that you're making your decision, even if it fails, was for the best of us.
Absolutely.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that your decision is correct all the time. It doesn't mean that you come back to me and say, hey, you know, I messed up, and, you know, let's do it your way. Submission is that I accept that it's a trust. I trust that you're going to continue to make decisions, even in your decision and coming back to me means that, you know, I still trust that you're making the best decision.
Right.
I think that people forget there's power in submission.
It is power in submission.
You have to be a strong mofo to say, hey, I put my trust in you. I'm giving you me to take care of. I try to put my heart in your hands. I'm putting my life in your hands at some point. And they think that it's just easy. We're just supposed to be like, bow down because you're a man, like any guy that you get with.
Yeah, that's not what it is.
And
I think that it expresses itself in certain ways. Of course, a lot of us are submissive to a boss, or, you know, to our supervisor. We sometimes submit to our children. You know, I know I got 3 boys, so I mean, not submitting, but I submit to something that they want to do. I as they get older, I have to trust I have to trust what they want to do. So I submit to what they want to do, even if I know it's wrong. But it's, to me, with boys, it's teaching them how to make decisions and how to be leaders. But, you know, it just looks different. It's going to look different. You know, we submit to each other as friends, I think.
I always say there's a certain responsibility that comes along with being a man, just as there are certain responsibilities with being a woman. If a child is failing in some way, it's the mother's fault. Let's just be clear. Like, that's just how society look at it. Like, his mama is fucked up in a way or whatever. But if a household fails, it's the man's responsibility. I mean, it's the man's fault. Like, if you live with a guy, y'all get evicted, they're going to be like, damn, he let them get evicted. There's not going to be, she did this, that, and third, regardless of who makes the money. Or if they are harmed physically some way, he's supposed to be the one that protects them. And he's supposed to be the one to go grab the gun or whatever. Like, oh, he let that man come and punch her in her face or whatever. He let this happen. So they have a certain responsibility. So you should have a certain submission to them when you expect certain things from them, just as they should have a certain submission to certain things from you. They know that they can't keep their schedule properly. They can't file their taxes when they're supposed to and pay this bill and schedule this appointment and know how much this copay is. They can't do that shit without you. So there's submission on both ends. And I think that's the problem. Guys think we're just supposed to be like, bow down. Men, you just make all the decisions. We listen to you.
And I don't think they realize that they submit too.
First of all,
exactly. That's right.
We're not in the same financial bracket that we had to.
I mean, we can talk about another type of submission, but
hello, that's my kind. But no, but we're not in the same financial situation that we were in the 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, or whatever, where the woman had to submit, like she had to do certain things because she depended on
that was strength too. But a lot of those women were working women. They may not have gone outside the home, but a lot of them had crafts. You know, I think my grandmother and her sisters, my grandmother's really the only one that actually worked. She worked for the government for 45 years. The other ones, though, they were seamstress, they were pianists, laundry. You know, they did things, they did hair outside their home, in their home. So they still, women those days, even though I'll say they accepted more shit. But I don't know if I think that they didn't have to submit. I don't think that that's what I wouldn't say that they were that they submitted. I hate when submission feels like it's less than.
Like slavery almost.
I hate when submission looks like it, because that's not what they were. They were really strong women. Right. Yeah. And that's not what submission is. Submission is, it's, to say that, well, the people, women back in the 50s
rope this way. We can't keep pulling this rope, both of us different directions.
Right.
Point, I gotta say, you know what? You just take it. You win. Like the tug of war. Right. Over. You do this. You make this decision, and I'm going to trust that you're going to make the best decision for us. And
a lot of times, the women run the household, so the men submit to that. They just don't acknowledge that they're submitting.
They sure do.
When you're making those doctor's appointments, you're scheduling everything from everybody. You're making sure everybody has what they need when they need it. They're submitting to them because they're allowing them to run the household however it works for them, long as it doesn't cause any confusion. They just don't admit that it's submission. Instead, they will just be like, well, she takes care of the home, but they're submitting to her, allowing her to do that, trusting her to take care of those things.
That is submit. Yeah,
it's a balance.
Yep, and I agree.
Submission goes both ways, but they don't want to hear that part. It's just
y'all not submitting.
You don't submit to a man. You just got too much mouth. It's too much for you to submit to a man.
That's because those are men who don't know what submission is. Right. And those are men who are afraid to lead. And I don't think that they're men that don't know how to lead. I think there are men that are afraid to lead. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a head of a household, and it ain't shit that I want to be. I'm gonna be. This is not. I know this ain't what God intended for me. It's not. I'm not supposed to be. This is not just that. This is not for me. I'm in it. I'm not saying that I don't do it well, but there are things that you do because you have to do, and then there are things that you just, that you just do. So I'm in it. It's something that I have to do. So I'm not gonna just do it half-ass. I'm gonna do it the way that I do it. I'm gonna do it Leo shit. This is what I'm gotta do. But doing that though is it makes some men feel intimidated.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to admit it.
When me and my ex when we split up, when we divorced, after our youngest son was born, his family was like, well, I had found out that he had another kid, and not while we were together. He just hid the fact that he had a third child. But the thing is that, her attitude was his sister, who was very close, was, well, his other baby mamas really need him to be around because they're not as capable as you are, and they don't have the kind of job that you have, and they don't have this. We know you're gonna be all right. We know y'all gonna be all right.
So you should lack because she needs it.
You have strength, right?
Because the other two needed it. I'm like, really? So he needs to be around these kids, but he don't need to be around these kids. Like, what kind of sense does that make? So, you know,
So
but
strength, that's the place where our strength can be a gift and a curse. Like
They do,
and it does. And on a daily basis,
it can be a gift and definitely.
Black women don't need much because they can hold it down and they can do things for themselves. I don't want to do this.
That don't mean we want to do it by ourselves. Just because we can do it, that doesn't mean we want to do it by ourselves.
We do it because because this is what we have to do. I mean, I'm not gonna. What you want me to just do? I don't even understand.
I'm not gonna let everything fall because of one person not gonna hold up. I want to make sure it's stable for my child, if nothing else.
Exactly. So you know, but yeah, it's definitely a double-edged sword out here. So
trying to
damned if you do, you damned if you don't.
Yes.
So I think some. What you say?
I said you be a strong Black woman, and then if you're not a strong Black woman, you're a weakling and you're weak, and then nobody.
You're dumb.
Yeah.
Sucks. Life sucks for us. Life sucks for us. So I have a question. This is so now we're moving into this world of poly life and multiple wives and multiple husbands and polyamory and polyandry and polygamy and all that stuff. So if you had a choice, would you rather have two brother husbands, because I don't know what to call them other than sister wives, they call it sister wives. So would you rather have two brother wives, or would you rather be two brother husbands, or would you rather be a sister wife?
Those are the only two choices.
Only two choices. Don't say neither. There's no neither option. You have to have
I would
either
rather
two
just
husbands.
be open.
Okay. Just
so that way I can have a little bit of both.
You want to have some entanglements. You want to be Jada-like. Be like Jada, sister.
I feel like that would only be fair because I may not always want to deal with another woman. I may not always want to deal with another man.
Listen, the attitude. I couldn't have two men that I would have. I feel like I would have to take care of two children. Like
you have a man and you have one that's okay with being the side. It's workable. It's feasible.
No, I'm talking about if we're talking sister wife situations where you all live in one house. So you either have two husbands or you're one of two wives. Which one would you be?
I wouldn't even want to see.
Pick one.
Even when living with another woman, it's a lot of bitches that are nasty. Men, a lot of times they're cleaner than women. So
the attitudes of them, but
the attitudes, dudes, if they mad, they just won't talk to you. I can deal with you not just talking to me.
So I want to. Denise, what's yours?
I mean, you would have to have
y'all are tearing up the scenario. No, pick one. It's literally either two men or you're one of two women.
But I'm making a decision, right? I'm trying to decide whether or not
I'm gonna go with the two men. I mean, I'm saying I'll clean up, I'll cook, but y'all gonna pay all these damn bills.
Listen, the bills paid.
I mean, I'm thinking that the two. I don't know.
You don't need somebody play the game, somebody into something that we can make you work.
I would rather be a sister wife because I would get Tuesdays and Thursdays off. I would be man, it's Sally's day. I ain't gotta do shit. Sally's holding it down today because her name's got to be Sally, but whatever. It's Sally's day.
That's why I would like the open, so I can have a somebody who can help with that, but I can still do what I want to do on the side.
I understand. That sounds fun. So
I don't know.
So we get to this cheating thing. That's part of this poly life. So I was told, they asked what percentage of men do you think cheat? And the numbers were 95, 90, all men cheat. So do you think that all men cheat, first of all?
No. Not all.
No,
I think had a conversation.
Just not in every relationship.
No.
I don't all men cheat, just not in every relationship. That's how I feel. I feel like every man has cheated before, and they've learned from it, but just not in every relationship.
I think out of all men, 80% have cheated.
Can they dish what they take though?
No,
absolutely not.
They want you to take them back, but they will.
I know it's I think every
have you ever been taken back Have you ever been taken back? Have you ever known any guys that took a woman back or taken you back for cheating?
I've had an ex that took me back for cheating, so it's possible they will do it. We've been broken up for like 10 years. We still text on a regular and keep up with each other. I still get the I love you, so it's definitely possible.
I'm sorry, my son is trying to kiss my hand.
Oh, mama bear. See what happens when you're a mama bear.
Whatever. He just trying to be nosy. Go somewhere. So I don't know anything about an ex taking you back because Black women don't cheat.
Don't cheat.
Now, Black women don't cheat, so I can't relate. Definitely.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever. You're a whole pack of lies. Well, from your friends that was telling stories that time, what did you find? No, I'm just saying, like, they don't really happen. So from the conversations, the made up fairy tales, what do you think?
These men who be out here cheating, their women cheating on them just as much, and they know it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the time to cheat. So they take women back who cheat, or they don't leave either because it may hurt, but they not going nowhere. They know they be getting cheated out
here. I think when you're a certain age, you pretty much know what's out here. It's like,
They stay because they know ain't nothing really out there. But
there's nothing out here. There's nothing.
It's like Marshalls on like Thursday at like 9 p.m. and everything's picked through. Like the new shipment ain't came in. The store's just it's horrible out there.
You got to go to Wegmans to find somebody a date.
What? No, so dating, social media though, is it easier or harder with social media to find like love?
I don't think it's easier. I think it's more convenient to find something temporary, but like a love,
kind of like real love on social media.
I think it depends on how you find it. I think some of the group, like if you connect with somebody and you meet them and you guys connected, but you don't really interact on social media like that, there's a little bit of a difference. Within the groups and stuff, I don't know. I've seen it work. I've seen some people get married. I know a few couples that have gotten married. But I think sometimes if your intentions are just what your intentions are. If you're gonna be a flirty type of, I'm about to entertain everybody, blah 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 blah, you're gonna be that whether it's social media or not.
I've seen with the social media it's messy.
I think it can be definitely messy,
especially when it's like groups. I've seen people hook up in groups and be in relationships and have kids, all of that stuff, and even get married. But they usually go through a messy part of it.
Yeah, because all of the people don't want to
flirting catches up, and someone gets in their feelings, and it gets messy. They can go through the messy part of it. Then I think it can work out. But it depends on everybody's relationship is different with each person. So it depends on what you go into it looking for. Can it happen? Yes. Does it happen? I think it's more of a convenience things a lot of time. Who's convenient, who's always available and there for them. But
absolutely. So here's another one that I got. We get a rap for women being gossip queens. Are men gossipy?
Why are we looking at you like this? How come I'm looking at you like this?
Because I'm sorry. I guess I gotta change my thing back around. There we go. Are men gossip queens like women, or are they worse, or are they just as bad?
I think they're worse.
I get all my teas for the men.
All your tea from the men. Listen.
I think they're worse.
Oh, baby, good too.
And they just talk. They just talk too. They just pillow talk and more other talk, and they will sit in the room. Yeah, dog. She told me this, and you're like,
they talk so bad. They talk about. They are the worst. I think the men are the messier of it because I don't know why, but the men I think are definitely messier than the women.
Like, see, they know all the secrets and they drop the secrets worse than the females. And
they definitely do.
That was a girl trait. Like,
They definitely, like said, it niggas talk more than bitches, so they definitely drop all the good teas
all the time.
They know who fucking who. Who snuck off with who, and it's usually the quiet ones in the background who know all the tea. So they just be sitting around watching.
Yeah. So when it comes to friends, who makes better friends, males or females, for a female to have? What have you found?
For me, I think I'm better friends with dudes, I think, because it depends on the guy, though. You got to have someone that's open.
Solid.
But with dudes, because girls, I think some women can be envious without really
knowing or trying to be.
Right. And I think it's just because a lot of times, like we said, these toxic relationships today with their moms spill over to how they treat their friends. Because they think everything is a competition. Mm-hmm. So with dudes, if you got a good homeboy that you can be chill with and talk that put you up on game, they'll give you the good tease about who to deal with, who not to deal with. So I think men, because I think women think they know more when it comes to certain things, but men pay attention more to what's going on around them. So I think men.
I've always had more friends than females. And that's a gift and curse. So go ahead, Denise.
Yeah, I think as I've gotten older, I think I've always had. I think both. I've always been like a girl that hangs out with a lot of guys because I used to hang out with my cousins, and all my cousins are male. So you know, that's just what they took me. If they went to the strip club, I went to the strip club. You know. The first time I went to a female strip club was with my cousins. So absolutely. You know. But I mean, so I'm always gonna feel comfortable. I love being around my cousins and just family, people that act like are like family. But I definitely the friendships with women that I have, and I'll say this: the friendships with women that I have are way deeper.
Yeah,
and they last longer.
Cry, count on me when you need a friend.
They understand
longer. And I don't have to be friend. For me, I don't have to talk to them every day.
No. Right.
But when I talk to them, there's nothing missing. My friendships with men, even though, I really cherish them and I love it. I love hanging out with them jokers. I love it. But they don't last as long. They're, tend to be, they move on.
Because when they get in a relationship, they're not allowed to.
Or I get into a relationship, and it's not just them.
You got to make that new relationship comfortable with you having a male friend. Here's the problem: like my best male friend is an amazing man. Like he's liked by every male that's around him. Females dote over him. He's married now and everything, but it's very intimidating for guys that I date because they're like, well, what's going on with y'all? And I'm like, nah, we're cool. Like, that's literally my homie. Yeah. And that's like my homeboy. And he tells me about, he's married now. He used to tell me about his girls, and I used to tell him about my dudes. Like, it's not like that.
I think it's hard for men to separate the two on the outside because they feel like
because they are the men that try to sleep with their female friends.
Right. So they can't see that women don't sleep with all their male friends. Right.
That's part of it, is that, sometimes
it's not genuine friendship.
They're still like, are you gonna? I still want to sleep with you, or and at some point it's like, dude, can we just be cool?
Right.
But you can't just be cool,
It's weird being the female friend and being introduced to females because then
it's very awkward.
Like, oh, you want him? And I'm like, nah, sis. And if I wanted it, I could have had
it. Exactly. He never left alone. I know all the something of that nature.
But that in itself is a whole thing. Like, people don't really believe that you can actually be friends with a man and don't have sex with them.
Right.
Or you can be around them jokers for years and don't have sex with them. And it's, you know, and I can,
because we're reduced to our vaginas, because no man wants to be around us besides us because of our vagina. So, you know, like women are fun.
Look, like if I wanted him to have it, I would have gave it to him.
And I think that's what a lot of times they be intimidated by, because of the connection that they know that they have their body that can, but when you have a bond that can go
absolutely
further
and they're comfortable with you in a way that they aren't comfortable with them. You know what I mean? And you get that side eye, and you're an attractive woman. Let's be clear. You know what I'm saying? You're not a duck. You know what it is, and you know how it is. So then you have to pull back your friendship sometimes around,
and that's what it is.
Like you got to downplay like how cool you are.
Yeah.
The fact that you know his mom and know his mom's number and all of that stuff. You got to downplay certain things just to make them comfortable. And it's like, damn, can't we just be friends? Like I grew up a tomboy. I grew up literally wrestling with boys and playing and basketball and football with boys. So I always had male friends. I was always the weird girl that was just like, I want to wear Jordans and Chris Webber Nikes or whatever, just because I didn't want to wear heels. I didn't have boobs. That's what it was. Back in my day, it wasn't butt. When I was growing up, it was you got boobs. You're an adult now. So I didn't have those. So I was just like, I'm gonna hang with the boys and be a boy and dress like a boy. And the guys got comfortable, and I had guy friends, like legit friends, and they would tell me about their girlfriends, and then I would meet their girlfriends, and they're like, oh, but she's cute. And I was like, I don't even think I'm cute. I'm like a tomboy. Like I'm like, dressed like this. And then it was just like, you have to prove yourself as a friend almost. Like who does that? We don't have to do that with our female friends. Like
I think it's more comfortable with female friends because they can understand and empathize with a lot of things that men don't empathize with, especially when it comes to parenting or going through different things, changes. Men don't understand those things. So it is important to have good female friends around you and a good support system when it comes to that.
But you get more backstabbing in females, to me, is what I find. I don't have the shit talk with my guy friends. They're not trying to smash who I'm trying to smash, and they're not trying to hate on me in any kind of way. And I get that with females more.
Girl, have all married friends. All my friends are married. Every one of my friends are married.
Oh,
like seriously, like all the
so you're that girl.
Now, me and my friends have definitely had the same dudes try to talk to us or smash at the same time. That's why group chat is very important.
Y'all better beware. Y'all know we out here telling like all of it.
Like, is he in your inbox? Like, did you smash? Like, I have friends that be like, I smashed, the dick was trash, or it was good. You know.
See, so, I don't really get into all of that.
That crew. I don't have that crew.
I don't have that either, and I don't even know.
Literally my sister.
I feel like, especially here, it's like everybody knows everybody, or everybody knows somebody that knows this person. So it's kind of hard not to cross paths, even if, as long as like we have rules, you know, as long as there's time involved, there's no feelings involved, there wasn't a real relationship or anything of that nature, it's good to go. Like, if you smashed him when you were 19, we're in our 30s, like that shit don't count anymore. Like,
man, look, it don't count. I agree, and I also I believe that I don't even think that it should matter.
It doesn't at that point.
I'm one of the people. Now I know. I'm one of the people that feel like once your ex, they free to do whatever you want them to do. If it's a friend that he think, I don't have no chains or nothing on nobody.
I have a friend like that. He doesn't care. He's like, we could have been in love forever, but maybe they're better suited so they can go do it. I'm like,
I feel the
you
same
miss
way.
out on
I don't own you. Let me tell you something. And I know that it's people out there that don't care. If not, then there would be there wouldn't be relationships where the wife and the best friend are hooking up. Right. Or that's being used, or there wouldn't be. I'm telling you right now,
people with cousins and all that other stuff. Exactly. People do it. Family members. I just rather be forward about it. Like, if we friends, like, hey, have you know him? Like, what's the tea? What's good? Oh, well, he's straight. Da da da. Well, I don't know him. So that's happened where we in our lives.
It happens a little. So for people to sit there and be like, hey, it's not, oh no, that I would never, there's rules. No, the hell it's not.
We weren't even friends.
I say y'all better establish them
do what the hell they
want
to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it ain't no somebody you were deep in love with, you have kids with, like there's certain rules to it.
They don't care, but people like that still hooking up with their friends or couples, and they could be neighbors, and
and they be sneaking and doing it, and then they get caught.
Yeah, they sneak and do it, and they get caught. They run off together, man. I know a friend of mine. Him and his sister were married next door to each other, and him and his sister were married next door to each other, and they caught the spouses at the airport. The brother and sister.
Wow.
What in the West Virginia is going on?
Nothing surprises me. I come from, like, I guess because of the religion I grew up in, them jokers was always intermarrying somebody's ex-wife or whatever. Man, please. It wasn't
This one has been a hot one for whatever reason this week. I think we've all seen the video where the wife comes outside. The husband is in the car with his mother. She's in the front seat of the wife's car. The mother does not get out of the front seat. She's chilling. She's like, no, bitch, I'm here. And the wife is kirking out, like going off on the husband. This is my car. I'm tired of your first, whatever. So in a relationship we're going to say marriage. In a marriage. No, I'm going to start first. I'm going to start first with the relationship. In a relationship, who's first? Or does it matter if they're married or not? The wife or the female spouse or the wife? The mother,
The wife, the person you married comes first. Is God in that person, no matter if it's the wife or the husband. Y'all are one. So the decisions y'all make are supposed to be together. Y'all supposed to consult with each other before y'all make decisions. Like, that's what it is. That's supposed to come first. When it comes to that situation, that is a matter of disrespect on both ends. Like,
it was both.
I wouldn't even be mad that his mom was in the front seat. Like, I'd be like,
she's old. She's already there. She's older. No big deal. She's already there.
It was a disrespect from the mom that he also allowed and didn't check his mother for. She can't check his mother.
I'm not getting up, bitch. Like, she's like, nah, I'm not getting up. Like, it shouldn't have gotten there, though. Like,
she can't check his mother for that. He has to do that. So
at this point, you make your
ain't no son's gonna about to check their mama and tell their mama to get in the back seat.
No, she shouldn't have gotten in the back seat. But
and that shouldn't have even, honestly, it shouldn't have even been. It shouldn't have even been an issue if you coming into the car that you would have an older, an adult woman, even if it's not a mom, that you would have an older adult tell them to get out the front seat and sit in the back. That should have told it to me. That would have said everything that I needed to know about this woman. I don't need to know nothing else about her because she's disrespectful to she's disrespectful to her elders. She's disrespectful to my son. That would have been it. Period.
Now I feel like he allowed, but you could tell. I don't know if it was a skit or if it was real. It was a skit. It had to be. It makes it seem like it's bad blood already there. I think that's what makes a difference.
She said, "You always choose your mom,"
and you submit. That's part of being submissive. He ain't that chick right there will never submit to that man. She would never submit to him. She will never do what he tells her. I mean, not what he tells her, but she'll never allow him to leave because she's disrespectful to an elder. Her elder. That would be like her mom.
Now, she was disrespectful. I'm not taking away that she was disrespectful, but some of these elders be out of line.
Oh no, they are.
But this wasn't an issue to be out of line. This wasn't one of those issues. This was a matter of respect. The respect was and a simple act of respect by saying, you know what, me and my girlfriend are gonna sit in the back because we came later, and your mom is already in the front seat.
Sitting in the back with the mom anyway, so I don't even understand why that was the whole deal or argument. Like, just get in the she's probably gonna get dropped down first anyway, so she need to be in the back front seat anyway. So I don't see what the whole big deal about that was.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
in most cases, men adore their mothers. Like there's God, and then there's their mother. Like seriously, like if you get with like a dude that was just like my hi little one, my brother-in-law
go bye
adores his mother. Like my sister often is like, he wants her to do things the way his mother did things. And she's like, we weren't raised like that. We're not in the same situation. So there is a balance that has to come. But when it's something as simple as a seat, you want a man to pick who he wants in the front seat, his wife or his mother.
That's a stupid argument.
Please believe you and I, 90% of the time in his head, he's going to choose his mother. He's literally like, my mother's going to sit up front because she's my fucking mother. Like it's not that major. He's not asking who gets my remains if I die, who chooses this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? It's something as simple as a seat. But in the interim, though, you have some guys who literally run their households based on their mother. Their mother.
That's a problem.
Household.
That's a different problem.
That's the problem. Like your mother should not be running your household.
No.
You should not be consulting with your mother before you run your household. You should not be running to your mother with household issues because
I agree.
You're going to forget if your spouse is your mother or your father is not, and that's not
my problem. They always hit you with the, well, my mother did it like this, and I'd be like, and you're fucked up right now. So let's not tell me about how your mother did it. Because you're not Obama out here. You're pretty fucked up yourself. Yep. So please let's tell me how your
let's
mother
do something a little different because I don't think they got it right.
Right. Yeah, they need to reset something. So
I seen what they produced.
Right.
Hello. Mammy ain't have it all together.
Yeah.
But it's like
but they don't notice that part because a lot of them, their mama don't do no wrong. Every other woman in the world is horrible, but their mama don't do no wrong.
She wasn't keeping you from your pappy and all of that stuff and putting your pappy on papers and child support, but you mad at your baby mother. Hello.
Hey, child support is needed. I think no woman for child support.
I've been in child support office and I was doing something on my own, but I seen the mother there with her son, and she was just making all these excuses why he couldn't pay child support, and I was just blown. Like, well, he's not working right now, and I looked. I was like,
that's no excuse. But it is a lot of moms that do that mess. That think that their kids, their boys can't do no wrong. I'm not their mother. My joke is
she said it so clear. I'm not that mother.
No, I'm not. You can ask my older. I don't think I'm not the one. I mean, and I love my boys to death. I'm like, I love them to death. Like they are. But they know I'm not tolerating no bull crap either. I'm definitely not tolerating them not taking care of their responsibilities. That's never going to happen. So
you have some mothers that coddle and let their sons be trash and deadbeats or whatever. I think we lost Frances, but we got a couple minutes left. So anyway, here she comes. But you have parents who allow their their sons to be trash, like,
and it's not just moms. Some of it is dads.
Parents.
Yeah.
Yes.
Parents. But again, the mom gets the blame as to why her son is like that. They don't say your parents. You were like your mama's boy. Your mama raised you. Your mama did this, that, and the third. So I think there's not enough. Like they don't recognize that part either. The part that of the responsibility that women have to take in relationships and households and things. It's always the men got to be responsible for. Come back full circle. If the household fails, it's the man's fault. But if the child fails, it's the mother's fault. Like,
but that's part of the household. The child is part of the household. So,
or the man is just not in the household. If he is, because if the household fails and it's just the mom, nobody ever says, well, it probably wouldn't have failed if the dad was there. It's she was this, or she was on welfare, or she was she didn't raise them right. Well, where's
Vic
dad
is probably blowing a gasket right now because he can't talk. Vic,
I know, like blowing a gasket. You better eat this up, Joker.
I watched it. I don't know if I watched it.
You can't. You can't. You had your time 2 weeks ago.
I think it exposes how, like with the image situation, it exposes how he goes to his father for advice, and his dad always gives him fucked up advice. But when he goes to his mom, like she tries to help him as much as she can. She tries to be there for him, where it's almost hurting him because she is there for him so much. But when he goes to his father, he gives him so much fucked up advice that it has him in worse situations than what he was in before, because he think with his dick and he don't think with the right head. He don't make the right, even though he's older, he's still not making the right decisions. See, he didn't learn. So
genetics plays a big part.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you, genetics plays a big part. That boy,
we literally have about 30 seconds left. So we're definitely going to continue this. We're going to continue this. I'm probably going to do another lady show, but the guys had their show. They had their show. We had our show. We probably do a mashup. So y'all get together, get ready, because we're gonna argue back and forth and show them how it's done. So I appreciate you ladies for coming through.
You. It was fun.
Y'all, we will do this again. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Denise. Y'all see you later this week.
All right.